I just realized one important thing about me, that why any criticism is hurtful for me. Like, I can't take any criticism, no matter what they are, no matter how heavy it is. Well, obviously, if it's a heavy criticism, it would hurt more than a light criticism. But if it's a criticism, no matter how light it is, it would always hurt me. It would always make me feel really uneasy, really upset. I would just really, 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 really uncomfortable. Like, people would call people like me snowflakes or things like that. And then, I just thought that I was really sensitive, but now I really found that I think at least part of the root cause of this, which is I feel like I automatically agree with any criticism coming towards me, no matter what they are. As long as it's a criticism, part of me, probably the more unconscious, the more subconscious part of me, automatically agrees with it. No matter what it is. For example, it's a criticism criticizing me about something, and then a part of me was said, "That's true. I'm wrong. You're right. You're right. I am wrong. I am wrong. You're right." No matter what it is. No matter what it is. Unless it's something that's too obviously wrong, completely wrong. Like, for example, if a criticism says, "You are such a bad man," first of all, I'm not a man, so it would just not make any logical sense to me. But if something that is, for example, let's say, "You suck at playing this game," or, today I realized from surfing the internet, it can be something as subtle as a indirect criticism, or it's just as subtle as not a criticism, but a expression of very slight annoyance against me, like from complete strangers online. Like, I would comment something under a post and somebody else would be annoyed by what I said somehow in a way that I don't even understand, and they would show their annoyance, not like criticizing me at all, but they're just showing their annoyance. And then I would just feel so hurt by that, so offended, and I would just react. I would throw a fit in me. Like, I wouldn't do anything to them, just inside of me I just feel this rage, this hurt or fear. Like, for example, there's a video game that's new, I've played and I don't like it. And I've heard that some people don't like it either, but some people really like it. I just want to figure out if that's true, that it's not a good video game, because because me alone isn't enough to say it's not a good video game. So I just would comment under any post about this video game. I would ask, this game isn't fun, right? I would ask this in many different posts, and then one person probably has seen me commenting this on many different posts, and then she replied to my very last comment saying, "Why are you commenting this under every why are you saying it's not fun under every post?" And I just took it as a criticism, or I think it's a way kind of expressed her annoyance against me. I think she's bothered by me keeping commenting that it is not a game. Maybe she likes it, because in one post I saw that she said she liked it 2 weeks ago. It's a post from 2 weeks ago. So today I commented to see if she still likes it. Today it's like 2 weeks later. So I said, "It's not fun, right?" And then she said, "Why are you saying it's not fun under every post?" And I just felt so much fear, because this is kind of tone just like from my mother whenever she's she would criticize me for something, or she's annoyed, or she's upset by me in some way. She would just sometimes ask something like this in a reverse question, which is, I don't know how you say this in English. Basically, you ask a question, but it's not a question. It's like asking somebody who is like just questioning in a very annoyed way. Like, why you're doing this all the time like this? You get it. And immediately I just felt fear from those comments, and I knew immediately why, because obviously I thought it's like I'm projecting the figure of my mother to this person online because her tone reminds me of my mother. And my mother's the person that criticized me the most. Well, from when I was 9, I started living with her all the way to when I left her, which was when I was 20, I think. Yes, 20. So 11 years. And during these 11 years, she would criticize me every single day, from small to big things. So basically, small criticism every single day, and a big, literally violent criticism once a month. Or I don't remember the frequency at all, but it would happen like maybe once a couple months, something like that. And it started from when I was 10, I think. I remember the very first one. Yes, I remember the very first one that happened. And during these times, I feel completely wrong. I feel like they're right, even if I have my little arguments, but I never dared to say them out loud. I don't know why. I just felt this, I think, powerlessness in these situations. I felt like she wouldn't understand. She wouldn't listen. I just felt like I lost my voice in these situations. I would just sit there and just let her criticize me. And I just felt fear, a lot of fear, because she would just literally throw a fit every single time. And I felt wrong, and I felt really scared because she's really loud, and I think that's very violent for me, because anybody yelling or screaming at me is kind of really like violence. It's nothing less than physical violence. Pretty much just a little bit less than physical violence. And, yeah, but basically, anytime when my mother criticized me, it was always when she was annoyed, it was never a constructive criticism. Even from teachers, when they criticized me, even if they were trying, like, if I just took the criticism from the teachers completely emotionlessly, it would be constructive. But obviously, I'm not an emotionless person. I always, also, they don't try to be as emotionless as possible when they do the criticism. You can always see their face of upset or disappointment or some annoyance. So, you can feel it, even if you can feel it through the energy, even if you're not somebody who is really emotional like me. You can always feel it through the energy. So, criticism for me, it always means annoyance from the other person. And why would that matter to me? Well, I grew up with annoyance from my caregivers when I was a child. Even when I was little, the criticism was always accompanied by some form of violence, no matter if it was a physical violence or like screaming, or just emotional violence, I would call it, just passive aggressiveness, like the face of upset, and you feel very wrong. You just feel wrong. As a child, when an adult tells you that you're wrong, well, obviously a child would feel wrong, and would feel scared if it's not constructive and a compassionate criticism, which I think very few children from at least my nation get that. So criticism for me is such a big thing. And the other day, yesterday, a guy online, I use a social app to connect with strangers, just with the hope of finding somebody that I could actually resonate with. And then this person, like most people, are not spiritual enough, would ask me things, and I would just send them, a list of this videos that literally turned me from non-spiritual to spiritual. And for people who are really interested, they would be extremely helpful, I think, because at least they changed my life. And I can just tell my story, tell spirituality, the same thing over and over to every single person that asks me about it, right? So I just became really impatient to people that are not spiritual, because they would either be interested or not interested. I would just throw them this link of very helpful videos that I collected, and I just asked them to watch them. And this guy asked me, and so I sent him the link, and then he said, okay, I will watch it, but I want to hear your opinion. And then, I just sent him another link of a video that I made talking about my opinion that he was asking about. And then he just said, okay, he didn't say I'm disappointed in you, but he said, you are absolutely not what your description in your bio says that you are, or makes you look like. And that obviously, it sounds like I'm extremely sensitive, so that too obvious means that I am disappointed in you. And I just felt a hit from that. I felt like literally like hurt, really hurt. I just started to cry. Well, I would never interact with people online like this, because it would just go on and on, like, and forever, everlasting arguments. So I would never react. Well, now it just hits me that it sounds just like when my mother was criticizing me. I would never argue back. I think online, before this point of my life when I became spiritual, I would always argue with people online. I did a lot of arguments with people online. And then I would just argue with them for a while and then just block them. It's not that I've never argued with people. In fact, I would argue with people online all the time. Yeah, I did, so I just need to check that it's not something that I've been doing always. But now I don't argue with them out of fear, really, because I know that it would just cause more hurt. They would just throw more hurtful languages, obviously, because I would want to explain myself. For example, in the case of this guy, I would try to explain to him that I'm sorry. Actually, when I first heard what he said, I was really angry. I was enraged because of hurt. I felt really hurt. I just thought, how are you fucking qualified to make a conclusion about me already? That I am nothing like what's described in my profile. I was thinking about all sorts of things like this, arguing with him in my mind. I never said them out. I just deleted him. This conversation didn't delete him. Obviously, he's not gonna write to me again because I didn't reply to his last message of disappointment. And so, in fear of creating more hurtful languages from them, because if I start arguing with them, unless I really calm down completely. But I just feel so tiring it is to just explain myself. Like, if I try to argue with them, what is the point of this argument? To prove that I'm actually not disappointing? That sounds really pointless to me. Because why should it matter if a person thinks I'm a disappointing person or not? Why should it matter at all? The point should be that it shouldn't matter at all what other people think of me. So, but obviously, yeah, it matters a lot to me. I don't know if it's that or it's just criticism. Criticism, is it really about what the other person thinks of me? Or is it just purely about this criticism itself that I automatically agree with, Basically says, I'm disappointed in you, and I immediately agreed with it. That's why it hurts so badly. Like the other the earlier person I mentioned, and she said, "Why are you doing this under every post?" Basically, to me, that sounds like, "Why are you so annoying?" And even if, they could mean completely different things. But I'm like almost 100% positive that this guy, he definitely felt disappointed by my replies, my attitude. Now, to be honest, I was never interested in talking to him from the first place, just out of maybe politeness, or out of, not politeness actually, out of not missing the chance of a possible connection, which I didn't intuitively feel was there, but I would just not give up any chance on connecting with somebody that reaches out to me if I don't feel strongly negative about that person. Normally, I don't feel this way to any stranger. What I feel is just the absence of connection. I don't feel disconnection. I just feel the absence of connection. I think they were all accurate. The times when I didn't feel the presence of a connection, they never worked out. In fact, I've never felt this with anybody, the kind of thing that I want to feel, which is, when you just talk to somebody, you just feel this connection with them without really much of an exchange of conversation. It's just an intuitive bond, intuitive feeling that something's there without needing to prove it, Conversation, exchange of conversation is literally like a process of proving if something's there or not. And I do believe that there's this intuitive confirmation that's prior to any proof from exchange of conversation with a stranger. And if that's a person that should be in your life, should be in my life, I should feel it before really having to interact with them a lot to figure out then. So I've never felt this, and that's why I've never found anybody. Or there's not a cause and effect here. It's just what it is. I've never felt this with anybody. I've never had a friend. I believe in that. It resonates with me. I want it to be true, and I'm afraid that it might not be true. But I think if it's not true, then I don't mind anymore. But the point of this video is I'm trying to talk about criticism. Somehow in the past 2 days, from yesterday on, from when the guy was disappointed in me on, I just received this kind of criticism 2-3 times already in 2 days. Before this point, I never felt any of these. I would just, occasionally I would encounter something like this, but in the past 48 hours, no, in the past actually 24 hours, I've experienced this 2-3 times, which is really something, that's, I don't know what's going on. To the point that it forced me to just delete that app that I used to surf the internet every day. Because I just felt I felt like too much garbage stuck in my body because of these encounters. Criticism means violence, fear, rejection, the absence of understanding. It's nothing positive to me. It's everything negative. Well, that's not something that I think about in my mind. It's something that my body has learned through my own experience of criticism. To other people, it might be something completely emotionally neutral. I think if you're a sane person, you understand this without me explaining it. I just don't like to fall into this victim mindset, which makes me think that, okay, my current situation of being ultra sensitive towards criticism is because my family did this to me, which I now have no way to change because the past has already happened, gone, imprinted in me already. I have to live with it now. All I can do is, I don't like to feel that. It makes me feel really powerless. But what can I do, spirits? I need your help with this. I don't want next time when somebody says something that expresses the slightest form of annoyance from them, and immediately I feel scared. I mean, I can't feel this, but if is there a way to solve this problem? If it's a problem, is there something to soothe this kind of situations? I obviously I need them soothed, or is there a way for me to accept them completely? If resistance is all the source of any of my suffering in these situations, please help me accept these situations. I know there are more, because people are annoyed every day by everybody around them, and I am one of the people living here, so I would annoy some people, or they would feel annoyed by me for whatever reason that they create, and they would express their annoyance to me every now and then, and I just feel like these situations make me feel extremely uncomfortable, and I want to find a way to accept, to not feel too, I don't know, I think I'm just talking in too much resistance now. I'm talking about not a lot. I should say yes, 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 yes. Yes, that I'm ultra sensitive to. Actually, ultra sensitive contains a level of denial in there. Like, I'm too sensitive that I shouldn't be this much sensitive. So I shouldn't use ultra sensitive. I should say, okay, I am like this towards criticism. I'm me. I would react to criticism like this. It's nothing ultra sensitive, it's nothing too much. It's nothing more than it should be. Okay? No resistance here. I completely accept the way that I am towards any criticism coming towards me. For whatever reason created in the past, chosen in the past, I completely accept. I accept everything that I feel. I accept other people's being annoyed, feeling upset, no matter by me or whatever, through me. I completely accept the fact that I automatically agree with whatever they say about me, automatically. I completely accept what I feel. I completely accept every thought that would pass through my mind when that happens. The extremely violent thoughts, the very sad thoughts, and the overwhelming shame that follows these. I completely accept them. Every bit of them, every drop of them. I completely accept my criticism towards me on a daily basis. I completely accept my shame, my feeling of worthlessness. I completely accept everything that I feel. I accept every pixel of my experience. I completely accept them. I completely accept the fact that I can't completely accept them. I accept every pixel in my experience, every thought, every passing through of a memory. I accept everything that everyone says to me and each other. I accept everything that I feel, every emotion ever felt, every attitude ever had. I would never label them as unfair, and I accept that I would label them as unfair. I accept that I have resistance. I accept that I can't accept that I have resistance. I accept my shame, my criticism towards me and others. I accept my fear and worry. I accept my feeling of helplessness. Completely surrender. I completely give up. I completely let go. I completely fall loose. Not trying to hold anything together. I let everything pass through me. I let everything break me into smaller and smaller pieces. Smaller and smaller. I accept all criticism. I accept that I can't accept any criticism. I accept that I can't accept any criticism. I accept. I say yes to every pixel of my experience. Thank you, yes. Criticize me, thank you, yes. Yes, I feel sad, yes. I want to kill you, yes. I want to annihilate you, yes. Yes, I feel shame. I feel fear. Yes. Yes. I feel misunderstanding. Yes. I feel a wall. I feel separation. I feel very cold. And yes. I feel hopeless. I need to do nothing. 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 There's nothing I need to do. Everything is perfect as they are. Everything is what is. And that is enough. That is abundant. Say yes to life. Thank you for being there, feeling annoyed by me. I am annoying. I don't agree with that. But it's okay if you think so. I am disappointing. I do not agree with that. But thank you for your commenting. Yes, you did comment that about me. Yes, you felt that I was annoying. Yes, and I am afraid of your anger. Yes. Yes, to my feelings of being rejected. Yes, to my feelings of my survival horror. Yes, to all of my shame, every drop of my shame. Every drop, every sound of my self-criticism. Yes, be there, please, as you are. Let me feel them, all of the shame come through me. All of the fear exist. All of me, all of it, be. 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 Every thought. Every passing thought. Be. Be. Live. My feelings of emptiness, of lack, of understanding and companionship, of loneliness, aloneness, my experience, my desire to be, to not be. I say yes